So let's first discuss about the batch culture. In this, the fermentation is carried out in a closed or batch fermenter. Microorganisms and the nutrient medium are added and left for a period of time. And during the process, nothing is added or removed from the fermenter except for the venting of waste gases. The product formed is separated at the end of the process, and the temperature is controlled and nutrients are usually depleted at the end. The rate of growth during the exponential phase in a batch culture can be expressed in terms of the mean growth rate constant, and it is expressed as K. Continuous culture. In this, the fermentation is carried out in an open fermenter and the nutrients are added and product removed at a steady rate throughout the process. In this, the microorganism is maintained at exponential phase of growth. The pH, temperature and oxygen concentration as well as nutrient and product levels should be kept constant in this process. The continuous culture of microorganism is a technique of increasing importance in microbiology. The essential feature of this technique is that microbial growth in a continuous culture takes place under steady state conditions. That is, growth occurs at a constant rate and in a constant environment. Let's see the advantage of batch culture over continuous culture. In the case of batch culture, it is easy to set up the fermentation process. The environmental conditions are relatively easy to control. The type of vessels that is used in the batch culture can be used for different processes at different times. If the culture becomes contaminated, it is only one batch that is lost. Now let's see the advantages of the continuous culture. It can be carried out in smaller vessels and the productivity is very much high in the case of continuous culture. The high productivity for biomass and intra and extracellular enzyme is more cost effective when it is carried out in continuous culture. Coming to the disadvantages of continuous culture, here the microbial growth, clumping of cells and forming tend to block up the inlet pipes. It can be difficult to control all the environmental factors together in continuous culture and it could lead to considerable amount of waste. And if any kind of contamination occurs, the entire product need to be discarded. It is not possible to create the low nutrient, high stress conditions because such conditions promote the production of secondary metabolites such as penicillin. So this is not possible in the case of continuous culture, but the conditions can be controlled in such a way that batch culture can be used for the production of secondary metabolites. Now let's see the continuous culture or steady state growth of microorganisms in detail. A microbial population can be maintained in the exponential growth phase and at a constant biomass concentration for extended periods in a continuous culture system. There are two major types of continuous culture systems. The first one is the chemostat and second one is the turbidostat. A chemostat is constructed so that sterile medium is fed into the culture vessel at the same rate as the media containing microorganisms is removed. We know that a culture medium consists of all the essential nutrients that is required for the growth of microorganisms. The culture medium for a chemostat possesses an essential nutrient in limiting quantities. For example, that essential nutrients can be an amino acid. Because of the presence of a limiting nutrient, the growth rate is determined by the rate at which new medium is fed into the growth chamber, and the final cell density depends on the concentration of the limiting nutrient. The rate of nutrient exchange is expressed as the dilution rate and it is termed as capital D. The rate at which medium flows through the culture vessel is related to the vessel volume, where F is the flow rate and V is the vessel volume. So it can be expressed as D is equal to F by V. For example, if the flow rate is 30 ml per hour and the volume of the vessel is 100 ml, the dilution rate is 0.30 per hour. Both the microbial population level and the generation time are related to the dilution rate. The microbial population density remains unchanged over a wide range of dilution rates. But the generation time decreases. That is, the rate of growth will be increasing as the dilution rate increases. The limiting nutrient will be almost completely depleted under these balanced conditions. This image shows the representation of a continuous culture. Here you can see the nutrient medium and here you can see the air inlet for aeration and agitation that can be provided to the fermentation system. And this is the growth chamber. And here there is an opening for bacterial inoculation and for the air to go out. And in addition to these features shown, the culture vessel will also be fitted with the temperature and pH probes for monitoring the growth conditions. So they came to the end of chemostat. Now let's see what's happening in turbidostat. The second type of continuous culture system is the turbidostat. It has a photocell that measures the absorbance or turbidity of the culture in the growth vessel. The flow rate of media through the vessel is automatically regulated to maintain a predetermined turbidity or cell density. The turbidostats differ from the chemostat in several ways. The dilution rate in a turbidostat varies rather than remaining constant in the case of chemostat. And its culture medium contains all nutrients in excess and none of the nutrient is limiting as in the case of chemostat. The turbidostats operate best at high dilution rate, whereas the chemostat is most stable and effective at lower dilution rate. So there we discussed about the major difference between the chemostat and turbidostat. So the continuous culture systems are very useful because they provide a constant supply of cells in exponential phase and growing at a norm rate. They make possible the study of microbial growth at very low nutrient levels. It is a concentration which is close to those present in the natural environments. So let's see the major difference between the chemostat and turbidostat once again. Chemostat is a system in which the chemical composition is kept at a control level for the culture of microorganisms, whereas in the case of turbidostat, a continuous microbiological culture device which has feedback between the turbidity of the culture vessel and the dilution rate is placed. Chemical composition of the medium is constant in the case of chemostat, whereas turbidity of the medium is constant in the case of turbidostat. Fresh medium is continuously added at the same rate as the removal of products in the case of chemostat, whereas fresh medium is automatically added maintaining a constant turbidity in the case of turbidostat. The dilution rate remains constant in chemostat, but it varies in the case of turbidostat. The fermentation process proceeds with a limiting nutrient, whereas it has no such limiting nutrient in the case of turbidostat. And this is the image of an industrial fermenter.